Franchise mode has been a lot of fun for me to play in MLB The Show 26, and as a noob, I'm gonna go over some of the things I've learned while playing this mode. Now, my experience with franchise is I haven't played much of it the last couple of years, to be honest. I used to be super big into it around MLB The Show 17, 18, 19. Finally getting back into this mode, so we're gonna be going over some of those things I've learned. If you guys have watched my franchise series, we're playing with the Tampa Bay Rays, and as we can see here, their budget is $120 million, and I've actually been able to improve that over the course of my time playing with this Rays team. And I feel like the big thing I've learned is that the sponsorships actually do increase the budget. I feel like in previous versions, it just didn't increase the budget, and I had some pretty good sponsorships as well. So I'll just quickly show you guys some of the ones I've been using. So the ones I've been using is this one. It's 15K per double play, and if we keep scrolling, I'm pretty sure I have the 2.5K per hit, which is pretty good. And I have one of the silver ones on as well. I'm pretty sure it's 20K for a win or something that I'm using. I don't even have any like the crazy diamond ones. Obviously, there's a lot of diamond ones up here, as you guys can see, where you get a little bit more money depending on whatever the task is. I don't even have some of these ones because these are some of the best in the game. But I feel like with the sponsorships, I've been definitely able to improve my budget and sign some big talent. If we take a look at my third year with this Rays franchise, you can kind of see my budget is pretty crazy. We have a $331 million total revenue, and we're currently spending almost $300 mil when it comes to all my players. So you guys can obviously see my contracts. We're in the third year of this franchise, and we're being able to pay a lot of good players a decent amount of money. And I feel like it's pretty impressive, some of the deals we got for longer term years and stuff like that. So I feel like I've kind of turned this team from not a poverty organization, but just not spending a lot, to a team that is spending a decent amount on players. You guys can see my player salaries that I have throughout the season. So I feel like I'm definitely been able to turn this team around just with the budget. I feel like it's worked this year. Like I said, in previous years, I feel like you just have not been able to improve a team's budget. So that's one thing I'm happy about, that you can actually sign some crazy players once you start getting later and later into the franchise. Now, my second thing I've learned is free agency is okay. I feel like there's definitely some aspects of the free agency system I like, and then there's some aspects where I just don't like it at all. I would still like to see a free agency rework, in my personal opinion. Like, for example, I like the contract extension screen way better than actually signing players in the offseason. You just can't negotiate certain things, or you can't, like, they took a lot of features away is what I'm trying to say. And you actually have a little bit more options, and it's kind of like the old system when extending players, which I find honestly to be more fun. Because back in the day when I used to play franchise, you have the role, then you had if you wanted to be front loaded or back loaded, which was always pretty cool, which we're seeing in baseball nowadays. And then you can always change up the years and how much money and all that stuff, and they kind of took that away to just years and money, which I feel like is a little frustrating in my opinion, to be honest, when it comes to free agency, because you can't backload contracts. I mean, we've seen the deferrals, right? They're obviously going crazy now, so there's really none of that, and it's kind of annoying. Like, everyone just has to make the same mil. Like, for example, Jeremy Pena has to make 21.8 for the contracts I have him sign, which is frustrating in my opinion. Like, you can't backload this contract if I wanted to, or front load it, which is kind of stupid in my opinion. So I definitely like the free agency to get reworked at. Also, making players stars I think would be really cool. Like, that's a feature that's kind of been gone away. And then you also can't see how happy a player is either. That used to be a thing, but now that's just no longer a thing. So I don't know if they just took those features out or what they're planning to do with them, but I don't know. Those were pretty cool things to have in the older games of franchise. But for the most part, the big board on free agency is pretty cool. I do like that aspect of it, and I do think the motivation is pretty cool, because there's been times I've been trying to sign some players, and their motivation keeps going up over the week, and then I still sign them for the same deal because our motivation keeps going up. So you can't kind of cheese the system like that, which I think can be pretty cool. Now let's move over to drafting, because drafting honestly has been like hit or miss for me. Currently in this franchise, I had one really good draft, and then my second draft was okay. I had like 3 high 80 potentials, and then everyone else was C, so it wasn't the best. My first draft, I had like, I don't know, 4 or 5 A potentials. My first draft was insane, and that whole draft that I had in 2026 was insane. I think every team had like 1 or 2 players that was high B or even A potential. It was an insane draft. And then like the last 2 drafts I've had have been pretty mid. I'm not gonna lie, they haven't really been the best drafts I've seen. But yeah, drafting can be pretty fun. I'm not gonna lie. I think the new drafting system does make it more challenging, but it does make it pretty fun to actually pick up insane players. So that's always fun to kind of have into the game. So I definitely had some fun with drafting, and I think they have made it really good. I think it's at a really good spot right now. And I know they did tweak some things from 25 to 26, like you can't easily spot generationals anymore, because that was a big problem apparently. But drafting for me has been a lot of fun. I haven't really needed to look up a tutorial. I have had some help from some of my friends as well, which have been nice. That are a little bit better than me at franchise. You guys know who you are. But yeah, drafting's been a lot of fun, and I think it's definitely one of the core aspects that they've kind of nailed when it comes to franchise. Now, on our last point, I'm going to talk about the new trade system. The new trade system has been honestly pretty cool. I'm not going to lie. You really can't have a crazy franchise where, like, everyone's getting traded. Like, Ohtani's getting traded. Gunnar Henderson's getting traded with the untouchable system, which I think is pretty cool. I would like to see a little bit of a rework on it. I don't don't think you should be able to have, 20 untouchables. I think they should try to limit it to like 5 or 10, because when you try to trade, it can be kind of hard to get some guys you want, just in my personal opinion. But overall, adding the extra player slot so you can do 1 for 4 trades or 4 for 4 trades, I think is honestly a lot better. And then sometimes you can get what you want, because, it will kind of like let you know how you're doing, right? So if you offer a trade, it will tell you, we like this guy, or we looked at counters or something like that, so you're getting somewhere. Or the old trade system, you would just have to meet, this certain bar, and then you would get the trade done. I feel like this system's a little bit better. I really don't like that you can't suggest trades anymore. I think that's kind of annoying, to be honest. I do think you should be able to suggest some trades just to see, like, if you want a salary dump or you want to get rid of a player. I do think you should still be able to do that. So maybe I'll add that back. I don't know. There's definitely a couple of tweaks I think they can make going into like next year when they actually go over and fix everything, because for the most part, trading's been really solid, and I've been having a lot of fun on this Rays franchise. So I think franchise has definitely been really fun, especially when Diamond Dynasty's been kind of okay. The gameplay hasn't been, insanely good. There's been a lot of glitches, a lot of bugs, cheaters, bots. There's been a lot of not good things. There hasn't been a lot of good stuff when it comes to the gameplay. So having franchise being as fun as it is definitely very nice. And I would definitely recommend you guys hop into some franchise, man. It's a lot of fun to play, I'm not gonna lie. When we've been streaming it, the chat is suggesting players, we're naming subscribers after our prospects. It's just been so much fun. But definitely let me know in the comment section, what's your favorite thing about franchise? Have you been playing this mode? And kind of what's your thoughts on this year's franchise so far? With that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Definitely make sure you guys check out all the socials. That will be linked down below in the description. Check me out on all those platforms. And also, if you want to get involved with the community more, definitely check over to the Discord. We've been having a lot of fun with the community when we're talking about fantasy and baseball and all that fun stuff. So I definitely recommend you guys joining. With that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. See you guys in the next one. Peace out, everyone.